Right now, I'm putting putty into the channels, which is a way of traditionally finishing the panel. And like how you normally, most stained glass panels should be putty, unless, in our case, in some other people's case, you're gonna insulate the panel, which not a lot of people do, but sometimes we do it. Well, we do it kind of a lot, because that's what customers want. This one is not insulated though, it's putty, so this is just a repair that we're finishing up. Now you're gonna flip it. I'm gonna do the other side, and then I'll put whiting powder on it. And we'll be done. And now I still have a pretty good amount of putty left over in my brush here, so you can see it just kind of comes out.
So it seeps through one side.
A little bit.
And you just use the seepage.
No, it's not seeping through, it's on my brush.
Oh, I see. And what's the goal here as you're spreading around the putty into the channels?
The goal is just to get the putty into the channels is all I'm trying to do. It's also darkening this lead to make it nice and gray like the other putty is. So I'm also darkening the lead, and the solder joints are getting burnished down a little bit. And that's gonna happen even more when we go to clean the piece. We need a little bit more putty. So I make sure I can get it. This helps the thing from rattling, keeps it's an insulator, so it keeps the cold air and warm air from just ripping through the little cracks, you know, or just blowing through the little cracks, or the channels, I should say. It's like grout. It's like grouting the window, pretty much. And that will do that part. Now you can kind of pick some of this up that's extra. If you go in a different motion than you were going before, it does this natural cleaning up. You can see there. Scrape it off. Save some putty. Just a little bit off the top there. Maybe easy. So I get a little bit more on this side, and then I can white it. So you can see, like, this is a bunch of putty sitting right there. Just remove a bunch of that, and it picks it up in the brush. Not only does it, you know, save putty or whatever, but it also helps keep the piece clean. Because the hardest thing to clean is the face of the lead after it's been putty. It just, like, sticks on there. It should just go get out. It's a filter. It's a little filter. It's not a really crappy little filter. But it does a little bit. Then we'll put a mask on and we're going to do some whiting. Let me know if you have any allergies before coming into the studio. It's a nut joke. I'm allergic to peanuts, so I just actually replaced this with whiting powder. So I'm not allergic to peanuts. That's probably too much. So, but actually I kind of want a lot on this because this is going in a short time period. So it's not going to sit for very long. So I really need to be able to pick it tomorrow so it can go in pretty quickly. So I'm gonna put a little bit too much on there. I'm gonna take my brush, and this is just a way to spread this around. And we're getting it onto all the putty right now.
And what does the whiting powder do?
It dries the powder, or the putty that needed to be wet so that we could get it into the channel. So now it's going to help dry that up a little bit and help it set a little bit, you know, pull some of the moisture out. So now, I'm going to go do the other side.
So you use a different brush.
Yeah, so this brush doesn't have any wet putty on it, or it has like a medium amount. This is what I use for like wet putty, actually applying the putty. This is for applying the whiting, and then this is like a finished cleaning brush. So you go through them, eventually you kind of cycle through, and then eventually that putty brush someone will inevitably leave it out, and it'll get hard, and then I won't be able to get it back, and I'll just get a new one.
Are these brushes you can get at the regular hardware store?
No,
or
these are for stained glass.
is there a particular material used on the brush itself?
I don't know. Magnolia brush. Nope, I don't know. And that's it. Now this just sits here.
Is that a technical move?
Yep.